Hey, busy mom. I'm wondering if you can relate to this. So, raise your hand if you've ever thought, huh, I'm just a mom. Raise your hand. Go ahead. If I were to ask you for a bio, let's say that you were coming to interview on my account here. What if I were interviewing you and I asked you for a bio? What would you tell me? Would you say, well, I'm just a mom? Okay, if that's you, if that's the response you would give me, just a mom, then listen up. I've got something to share with you. And I hope that I can make an impact here in sharing. As you're jumping on, be sure to say hi. If you're on the replay, let me know you're on the replay and tell me what color your socks are. Because, I was always that white sock girl, but I've started to branch out a little bit. Okay, so let's get started here. A few years ago, I was teaching a class on first aid in your kitchen. You all know I'm an herbalist, and I was teaching all about how to prepare things in your kitchen that would be used as a first response. So cuts and bruises and, bloody noses, burns, coughs that won't go away, all that kind of stuff. I talked about the things in your kitchen that are going to help you out. And as I was going to teach this class, they said, hey, could you give us a bio? And I said, as I wrote, I'm a mom of 5 and I homeschool. And that was my bio. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me tell you that a couple years before that, I had this beautiful bio. And I talked about all the things I did and all my passions and all the exciting things that were going on in my life. But on this day, I was just a mom. So, type just a mom if you have ever had that feeling. Ever. If it's right now, I'm sorry, and I hope this will help you. If you've ever had it before, go ahead so that other people will realize that that's actually a common thing that happens. And it's not because you did anything wrong, and frankly, it's not because you're just a mom. It's because we didn't have some of the tools in place that we really needed to have. So drop just a mom if you've ever had that. And be sure you said hi if you're popping on here. Okay, so I realized in that moment that I'd lost myself. I forgot who I was. I forgot all the cool things I've done and experienced. I forgot that I'm a black belt. I forgot that I loved to read. I forgot that I loved to learn. I forgot that I like to go on adventures. Like, I love to get in the car and just go somewhere I've never been and figure out where I'm going, right? And find cool little places. I had forgotten all those things about myself. And so all I could say in that moment was, I'm a homeschooling mom of 5. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. That is my job. But I had lost myself in all of this. And so tonight I want to give you 5 tips to help pull you out of that and help you remember and recapture who you are. Because today, this is why I want to give this, today on 3 different occasions, I heard someone say they used to think they were just a mom. They used to think that they didn't matter. They used to think that that they needed to fit into somebody else's mold of them and that their voice was unimportant. And it stabbed me in the heart because I've been there, but also because it's not true. And thankfully, all 3 of these women all had noticed that it wasn't true and they had made changes. And so I just thought, when things are said in 3s, especially on the same day, I think that's a message. I need to share this with you guys because it's something I too had learned. And so you've got 4 witnesses here to share this with you. So, if any of this ringing a bell, drop a comment. Just a mom, let me know. All right, so 5 things to help recapture yourself. Number 1. Okay, the first thing I hear from all of you moms with little teeny kids is, I don't have any time. Yeah, I get it. I have 5 kids. And there were days where it was like, can it be bedtime yet? How many of you have had that experience, right? It's like, okay, it's 5 o'clock. Okay, I got 2 more hours to hold on tight, and then I get to get him to bed. Okay, so I'm talking to you. Nap time is sacred. It really is sacred. And that doesn't mean that you go clean the house during nap time. No. Nap time is self-care time. Nap time is the time where you've got to fill your bucket, because if you don't fill your bucket, I promise you've got nothing to give. And then your family gets the leftovers. So number one, nap time is second. Well, what now, Marisa? What the heck do I do if my kids don't take a nap anymore? How many of you asking that? Raise your hand. Don't be shy. If you're thinking, nap time isn't happening in this house, then you implement quiet time. And if you're saying to me, my kids won't stay, then you start with 10 minutes. And here's the magic trick. You set a timer and you have the youngest kid push that little start button and you tell them, if I have to talk to you until this timer goes off, we add 5 minutes to this timer. Magic tip. Because that littlest is usually the one that's going to drive whether or not the nap time is causing problems. So that quiet time is causing problems. So you definitely need to get that little one involved. And then when you add that 5 minutes, you go in there and you tell that little one, oh dear, I'm so sorry you chose to be noisy and I had to come talk to you. You've chosen to add 5 minutes to quiet time. Change the timer, have them press start. I promise it only takes a couple times and they get the picture. And then you can add a little bit more time. You can go to 15, 20 minutes. But that time is your self-care time. So nap time is sacred. If you do nap time, do quiet time. Okay, the other thing, the next thing here, you have got to get outside. Get some fresh air. Even though it's freezing cold, because I personally hate being cold, but even if it's freezing cold, you've got to get outside. So go outside, breathe the fresh air, go for a little walk around the block. You can do this with your little kids because they need the fresh air too. And quite frankly, the air's dirtier inside than it is outside, so you need the fresh air. And the bonus is vitamin D, right? Let's just say, vitamin D, it's a hormone. You need to stand in the sunshine. Even if you live in the Pacific Northwest like I do, go outside. By the way, you'll see me when it's sunny, like this, in front of the sun for a few minutes, just basking in the warmth because you need it. So get outside. That's number 2. Number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, then it looks like I wrote down 4 things, but I can come up with something else. Number 3, make sure that you're making meaningful connections with people. Spend some time talking to your husband. Spend some time talking to a good friend. Connections are so, so important. Without connections, we wilt. We're like flowers without water, and we need connection. Number 4, nourish yourself inside and out. So this got a couple of subtopics here. Make sure you're getting good food. You've got to eat something that makes you feel strong every single day. Make sure you're drinking enough water. That's actually one of my weaknesses. And so I like to drink a little bit of herbal teas. That helps me get the water in. And if you're taking supplements, please make sure that they're whole food and not just labeled like comes from food, because oftentimes those comes from food supplements are going to actually have synthetics added in. But make sure it's 100% whole food. And then also, if you aren't getting enough minerals in your diet, get it through your skin, because your skin absorbs everything you put on it. So if you need to know any supplement suggestions, any skin, any way to get those minerals, type minerals below it or connect with me. I'll be happy to help you out. And the last thing is, spend 5 minutes a day, at least, learning something that you're excited to learn about. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be something that you're excited about, that your kids are excited about, and you go on a learning adventure together. It can be you deciding that before I get out of bed, I will read 5 pages in this book. I don't care what it is. Spend 5 minutes a day learning. And here's the thing. For all of you who are saying to me, Marisa, I don't have time to learn. My kids are on me and they're busy and I've got to pay attention to this. I'm going to tell it to you again. No, you need to spend 5 minutes a day. And here's why. Because I'm pretty sure you're also the mom that's saying, I want my kids to be lifelong learners. I want my kids to love learning. Do you relate? Say learning below if you can understand, if you relate to that. If you want your kids to be learners, if you want them to embrace learning and to see it as not something they just do in school and that they just check a box and get it done, then you've got to learn in front of them. You've got to show up and be present and show your kids, hey, learning is not just for going to school. Learning is every day. Learning is a lifelong pursuit. And so that 5 minutes a day is actually you teaching your children how to be a better person, how to show up, how to learn, how to grow, because that's a life skill. Just like you teaching them how to clean the bathroom, just like you teaching them how to cook dinner. It's a life skill. So I hope this was helpful to you. I know it feels overwhelming when you've got all these kids around you and it seems like you don't have any time at all. I promise if you implement these 5 tips, you're going to carve out some time and you're going to start to feel better. So if you can commit to doing this, if you can give it a shot, type better in the comments and let me know that you're going to give it a shot. Because if there's one thing I can do, it's teach all of you busy moms what I had to learn the hard way. And that is, if we don't take care of ourselves, if we don't fill our buckets, we're going to get sick. We're going to get weird diseases like fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue and adrenal fatigue and who knows what other thing going on. And we're going to feel lost. We're going to feel stuck. We're going to feel like we're just a mom. And we're so much more, because guess what? Every single one of you has something important to share with the people around you. Every single one of you matters. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you're excited about, because you teach me and you light the world with your spirit. And so comment below. You're going to get better. Go back. If you missed some of the tips I gave you, go back, rewatch this live. I know it's longer than I normally talk, but I gave you 5 simple tips you can implement, and most of them don't take any extra time. And I hope this was helpful. Please share it with your friends. This is the mission I'm on, to help women just like you not have to suffer like I did, but to learn how to embrace yourself, love yourself, and share your message with the world. I love you. I just hope you have a wonderful night. Onward and upward, my friends. Bye-bye.